Ollie's looking forward to today because a friend of his from out of town was coming into town, and they were going to hang out all day. He was in town for a conference, but he had, booked his flight a couple days in advance to visit with people. Ollie was excited and honored that he wanted to spend a whole day with him. So, um, his friend Max came over. It ran around 10 o'clock. They were going to have a late breakfast. So I said, well, could do something simple. My favorite coffee shop is actually just right across the street, or we could go out to someplace a bigger breakfast if you want. And Max said, like a coffee and a scone sounds really nice. And then I was thinking there's the sculpture garden right there, right? I mean, I've never been there. I said, oh yeah, sculpture garden's great. So they started walking down the hallway and they got on the elevator, and then all I heard this weird little noise, kind of muffled, a doop, deep, doop, doop, doop. He didn't think much of it though. It was probably just some sort of, I don't know, elevator noise or whatever. Then they continued on. They went across the street, and they were talking and chatting and having a nice time, kind of catching up. They ordered some coffee and got scones. Uh, and Max got a cinnamon scone, and Ollie got a cranberry ginger scone. And during a lull in the conversation, I heard the beeping noise again. Just barely. I thought, well, that's weird. He checked his phone, but I didn't see any, notifications or missed calls or anything, and it wasn't just sound that he was used to hearing. So he put it out of his mind, just went back to talking. Now, Max is an unusual person. They were big, like 6'2", and strong. And when I said earlier that they ordered scones, I didn't quite emphasize that Max ordered 3 scones. Because Max needed a lot of calories. And they worked out, they were strong, just a big mountain of a person. Anyway, so they finished their coffee and their scones, and they went over to the sculpture garden. And Ollie actually knew a lot about some of the sculptures and some of the artists, and Max was very happy to learn something. It's like, oh man, it's great that you know all this stuff, man. This is like I get a free, docent tour. I said, yeah, well, honestly, like, I'm really into this stuff, and it's right by my house, and I never get a chance to, like, tell anybody all the stuff that I know, so I'm having fun, too. And then Ollie heard it again, that little beeping noise. I said, is your phone going off? Max said, oh, hold on. But Max's phone was on silent. I said, no, I usually keep it on silent. I don't really like it to ring. I don't honestly like taking phone calls, to be honest with you. I said, yeah, okay, that's fair. All right. Why? Like, I keep on hearing this weird beeping noise. Huh. I don't know. Do you want to go into the rest of the art museum inside? I think that they open. I think they opened at 10. I said, yeah, they should be open. It's Tuesday, right? Yeah, they should be open. And a big part of it's free now, which is great. So they went in, and they were just having a good time doing all this art stuff. And Max said, you know what? You want to do more art stuff? I said, sure. I want to do this special exhibition, my treat. I said, what? Yeah, sure, let's do it. It was a neat exhibition. It was all about pointillism, which is a kind of painting where you paint with little dots of color. Sometimes it can be paint, sometimes it's crayon or marker. There's lots of different ways to do it. And it's all with all these different examples of different styles and different types of pointillism, even some pointillism where the painting was done on sculptures, and all sorts of interesting riffs on this style of art. But a couple different times while they're up there, I heard the little beeping again. It started to make him think something odd was going on. This faint muffled beeping following him around. Well, by the time they got done with all the art stuff, it was actually lunchtime. And Max said, I don't know, where do you want to go for lunch? I could eat. I laughed. Yeah, Max, you've always had an appetite. Said, yeah, I mean, I'm a whole lot of person. Um, let's see. I don't know. What's your favorite lunch spot? I said, oh man, it's a hard decision. There's a lot of good lunch spots around here, but let me think. I have not been to the Paper Moon in a while. Do you want to do that? It's kind of like a diner, like a Greasy Spoon diner, but they have all this crazy stuff on the walls. That sounds great. And it's just down the street here. So they walked over there and sat down to dinner, or to lunch rather. They ordered some food, sandwiches. They got some of the fried ravioli as an appetizer. I said, this stuff's been bothering me a bit today. A little bit last night, too. Huh, I said. I'm sorry to hear that. And see, it's not a big thing. It's just, I don't know. It feels off somehow. I said, so Max, what's going on with your work? Because you just started a whole new job, right? I said, yeah, I'm a therapist now. So I'm helping people, when they're going through tough times. I'd spend a lot of time studying some psychology and things like that. And I, managed to get certified and licensed. And I'm helping people, especially if they have, some trauma they're working through. Oh, that reminds me, actually, I should check my pager. I'm on vacation today, but there's a few of my clients there's several of my clients that use my pager, but a couple of them actually, need that. I said, do you have a pager? I said, yeah, I know it's old-fashioned, but I don't really want them, like I said, I don't really like taking phone calls. So I don't want them to be able to just call me up whenever they want. You got to have boundaries as a therapist, but it's good for them to be able to reach out, and then I can respond, on my clock. I says, I guess that does make sense. All right, let's see. And Max started patting down their pockets. Oh, patted down their backpack. That's strange. I can't find it. So when was the last time you knew where it was? I guess I had it out at dinner last night on the airplane. Then they heard the noise again. Boop, beep, beep, boop, boop. That's it. That's my pager. Shoot. It's got to be around here somewhere. I said, I've actually been hearing that all day long. I thought I was going crazy, but that's your pager noise? Yeah. And the weird thing, I have it on super loud, so I don't miss it. It's weird that it's that faint. Let me check my backpack again. So I looked all through, but they didn't find it. So if I dropped it on the plane or something, I wouldn't be hearing it. So what did you had it out at dinner? I said, yeah, it was it's called steak tips. It was the dinner with mashed potatoes and salad. It was a salad. And I'd gotten a page that I was concerned about, but I couldn't call back then because I was, so I had it out, so I was going to pay attention. That's the last time I can remember thinking about it. I said, how big is your pager? How big is it? It's smaller than pagers used to be. It's like about the size of, I don't know, like 3 dice. I said, I've got a bad but crazy idea here. You said your stomach hurts. Yeah? We're hearing the muffled sound of your pager. Yeah? Your pager's gone missing right at dinner time. What color is your pager? Oh, brownish Black, you think I ate my pager. I said, I think you ate your pager. Oh, I was drinking and I was in a hurry. That's embarrassing, but possible. Well, I said, I think maybe our next stop might have to be to, an urgent care, somewhere that has an x-ray. I said, yeah, this is not my plan for the day. So they went ahead and finished their meal, and then they went to the urgent care, explained the situation. The doctor said, you know what? We do have a chest x-ray we can do. Don't feel bad if it happens. If this would happen. This kind of thing happens more than you would think. I am retrieving odd objects out of people at least 3 or 4 times a month. Really? Oh, yeah. People, you don't even want to know the details, but trust me. No one talks about it, but this stuff happens to people. Anyway, let's get that x-ray. So they went and got the x-ray, and indeed, there was a hard metal and plastic object in Max's stomach. What do we do? I said, well, I've got 2 possible routes. One, we give you a bunch of laxatives and we wait for it to pass. Max said, that doesn't sound like very much fun. It isn't. The other is also not fun, but it's less waiting. That's worrying, Max said. What does that involve? That involves we put you under sedation with some nitrous oxide and some other stuff. Some propofol? I don't know what it's called. The doctor remembers. I just don't remember. And I go in with an endoscope, go down your throat, and I grab it. And we can do that here. He says, yeah, actually, we do have all the stuff we need to do that here. It sounds like it would be a big deal, but it's actually not as big a deal as you might think. I mean, it's basically like a long grabby arm with a camera at the end. And the sedative will wear off in about 15 minutes after we stop the sedative. You'll wake up. Max looked at Ollie. Ollie, this sort of thing kind of freaks me out. Will you stick around? I'm sorry. This is supposed to be a whole fun day. Ollie had a smirk on his face. He said, honestly, Max, this is kind of amusing. I'm really curious to see. So I'm fine. I mean, I'm sorry to laugh at your misfortune. Max said, no, I deserve a little bit of a rubbing for this. I mean, I ate my pager, and now on vacation, I've got to have a doctor reach down my throat with a grabby arm and yank it out. I'm terrified now, but it'll be funny later on. So they did the whole thing, got the pager out. Remarkably, the thing still worked. It was pretty well sealed. Had a couple of bite marks on it. But other than that, it was working fine. Max, after that, they woke up, they called the client back, and it wasn't a big deal. And I said, well, Max, I've had a rough afternoon. So I'm going to give you the choice. I'm going to buy you dinner, and I'll buy you a coffee or a beer on our way to dinner. I've got a great spot downtown. You like Italian food, right? I said, yeah, I do. I'll take a beer, Ollie. I could use it after that. And that was the case of Ollie and the mysterious beeping noise.